What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. I'm gonna be honest here. Watching the main event, it broke my heart. I cannot believe what we saw. But tonight, I'm gonna be giving you guys the results from Clash of Champions, and I'm gonna be honest here. I honestly was not expecting the main event to end that way. But we do kick off the show with the kickoff show as Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura defended the SmackDown Tag Team titles against the Lucha House Party. I believe it was Lince Dorado and Kalisto, actually. Hell of a match. Incredible. Literally, these two teams were going at it. And in the end, and the closing moments of the match, Cesaro had hit a swing on Kalisto. Shinsuke Nakamura hit Kalisto with a running knee strike, and they picked up the victory to retain the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest here. I think Dorado and Metalik did so much better without when Kalisto was injured. But with him back in the mix, I mean, there's no telling how deep in the hole they're going to be. But that's what happened. All right, you guys. To kick off the main card itself, the main card itself, we have a triple threat match for the undisputed Intercontinental title. Jeff Hardy, the champion, AJ Styles, and Sami Zayn, the challengers. This lasted, I would say a good 20 minutes or so. And this was absolutely incredible. It was an incredible match. All three men had so much experience with ladders. Obviously Jeff Hardy being the master of ladder matches. But the closing moments of the match is just so shrewd. I don't know why. I honestly don't know, but I hope somebody takes the title off of him. But Sami Zayn handcuffed AJ Styles to the ladder from the inside of the rung and cuffed Jeff Hardy from the earlobe from one of his earlobes to the ladder itself, and he climbed the ladder and grabbed both titles, making him the new undisputed Intercontinental Champion. I'm gonna be honest here. I know that I want to be in WWE, be a part of the kickoff shows and whatnot, but we are never going to hear the end of this. I swear, we are never going to hear the end of it. It is going to be hell. It's going to be hell on earth. But I guess a congratulations to Sami Zayn is in order, I guess. But that's what happened. Alright, you guys. Now for the Raw Women's Championship. Asuka defended against Zelina Vega. Obviously, you guys know Clash of Champions, the one night of the year where all titles is defended, including the 24/7 title, where we saw Drew Gulak pin R-Truth when R-Truth was in the referee's lounge, if you will. And later on in the night, R-Truth ended up getting the 24/7 title back, and yeah, I believe he's now a 40-time champion. I have no clue how many times. If you guys know how many titles he's won, let me know in the comments below, because I think it might be 40. I don't know. But Asuka, Zelina Vega for the Raw Women's title. Some of the more notable moments from that match. Obviously, Zelina Vega is a very shrewd superstar. She knows what she does. What she's doing in the ring. And one of the more notable things that I want to mention is how is the fact that Zelina Vega took Asuka's arm, and hit Asuka's shoulder up against the steel steps, which was absolutely shrewd. It was absolutely crazy. But of course, in the end, Asuka made Zelina Vega tap out to the Asuka lock to retain the Raw Women's Championship. But what happened next is interesting because Charlie Caruso had interviewed Asuka in the ring, and Asuka said that Zelina Vega was good, but she wasn't ready for Asuka. Zelina Vega met her face to face. Asuka extended her hand, but Vega was like, nope. They decided to bow, take a bow. Asuka did the same thing, but typical sore loser. Zelina Vega attacked Asuka, and that was that. Asuka cut a promo speaking her native, Japanese, and that was that. Literally, that was that. Next up, we have Bobby Lashley versus Apollo Crews for the United States Championship. Honestly, this was I'm gonna be honest here. I know that I think I said Apollo Crews would win the title, but this was a foregone conclusion. I mean, don't get me wrong. Apollo Crews put up a fight, but to be honest, Lashley, honestly, Apollo Crews had no chance. I think honestly, his best bet is to just walk away from the Hurt Business, leave it alone. Even though Bobby Lashley did make Apollo Crews tap out to the Hurt Lock, as he calls it, to retain the title, I think he just needs to step away because the longer he chases after the title, the more hurt he's gonna be in, and nobody wants to see that. Not even Cruz's own family wants to see that. Alright, next up we have a match that ended in controversy actually, as the Street Profits defended their Raw Tag Team titles against Angel Garza and Andrade. It was a very intense matchup, very intense. Both these teams gave it their all. Near fall after near fall, but in the end, was it Angelo? Yeah. So yeah. Angelo Dawkins had hit on Andrade with a spine buster that apparently he calls the Annihilator or something like that. I don't remember what he calls it, but yeah, and when the referee's hand was going down for the third time, Andrade had popped his shoulder out, and the referee's hand went down for three, and the referee made a very bad call. Honestly, though, I think, in my honest opinion, I think it would not have mattered whether it was a kick out or not. I think the Street Profits probably would have retained the titles either way, considering the fact that the Street Profits have been dealing with them since before WrestleMania. So literally throughout most of this whole pandemic bullshit going on, and again, I think it would not have mattered. They would have retained either way, in my honest opinion. So originally we were supposed to have Bayley versus Nikki Cross for the SmackDown Women's Championship, but because that Nikki Cross was injured, that was not the case. Instead, Asuka came in and decided to take over Nikki's place, and Bayley ended up losing to Asuka via a disqualification because she took the steel chair and attacked Asuka with it. And just when you thought Bayley was going to beat up Asuka again, a chair shot to the back of Bayley hit her. Thus, the return of Sasha Banks, and she was back with a vengeance. I think it's safe to say that it's safe to say that it could have been a face turn, but at this point, it's kind of hard to say, but you never know. But honestly, this really doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's Bayley. It's Bayley. She'll do whatever it takes to keep her title, but I think come our next pay-per-view, which will actually be Hell in a Cell. Actually, no. So our next pay-per-view will actually be NXT TakeOver 31, but the next one after that will be Hell in a Cell. And I think it's safe to say that Bayley could be defending her title against Sasha, which is a possibility. You never know. Alright, you guys, next up we have the WWE Championship match in an ambulance match as Drew McIntyre defended the title against Randy Orton. And I want to point out that this was a physical match, and I mean, like, physical. It was absolutely brutal. So to give you guys a couple of, a couple of the highlights, just when Randy Orton was about to hit Drew McIntyre with the punt, a massive hand grabbed onto Orton's leg to his ankle. Who shows up? None other than the Big Show. Big Show returns and chokeslammed Orton through the announce table, and not even that what was enough to keep Orton down. And then they both went into the backstage area, and we saw Captain Charisma. We saw former world champion Christian return and just beat down Orton. And then, on top of the ambulance, we saw Shawn Michaels return and deliver sweet chin music and literally pushed Randy Orton off of the ambulance onto what it appeared to have been a bunch of boxes. It could have been a table, who the hell knows, and decided to deliver a little suck it to Randy Orton. And then of course Drew McIntyre put Orton into the ambulance, and when he was about to shut the second door, he was like, nope. Kicked him in the head, punted him in the head, and then threw him into the ambulance and shut the second door. Thus, he retained the WWE Championship, and we also saw the return of the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, in the driver's side of the ambulance, and just drove the ambulance away. So, big shout out to Drew McIntyre. Big congrats to him on retaining the WWE Championship. I think it's safe to say he could be champion for a while, but with the WWE draft coming up in less than a couple weeks, honestly, the possibilities are endless. I mean, we could see Drew McIntyre on Raw, on SmackDown, and Roman Reigns on SmackDown, because they're both because they're both world champion. It is a possibility. The possibilities are endless. And then, of course, also, we were supposed to have the women's tag team title match between Jax and Baszler against the Riot Squad, but apparently Nia Jax was injured, to the best of my knowledge. So, unfortunately, they were unable to defend the titles. But who knows? We could see them defend the titles tomorrow night on Raw. Who knows? Alright, you guys, now for the Universal Title Championship, Roman Reigns against Jey Uso. I'm gonna be honest here. Jey Uso put up one hell of a fight. There's no denying that, but he was way in over his head. He was way in over his head. I mean, yes, he did defeat Matt Riddle and Baron Corbin and also Sheamus in a fatal 4-way to get the shot at Reigns, but going into this match, he was way in over his head, and Roman Reigns just beat him down. Roman Reigns beat Jey Uso down to the point where he literally wanted Jey Uso to tell Roman that he was the tribal chief. And just when we thought things couldn't have gone, and just when you thought things were gonna get worse, Jey Uso's brother Jimmy came in, hobbling on one leg, because if you guys remember, Jimmy Uso has been out with an injury. His knee, his ACL was taken out at WrestleMania earlier this year, back in April, which I think I talked about that in one of my post WrestleMania videos, which you guys can check out. Yeah, and literally, Jimmy Uso was like, I'm gonna throw in the towel, Jey Uso was like, no, don't do it. And Roman Reigns just beat him down again, and Jimmy Uso just had no choice, threw in the towel, and Jimmy Uso told Reigns, you're the Tribal Chief. I'm gonna be honest, I honestly don't know how far Roman Reigns is willing to go to keep the title. I mean, I get why he wants to be champion. I just don't know how far he'll be willing to go. That was just brutal. Brutal. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Question of the day. Question, or rather, I guess, question of the night. But question of the day. What are your guys' thoughts on Clash of Champions? Let me know in the comments below. And that is going to do it for this video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, smash the thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys love seeing these videos, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you guys do not miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All three of my links are down in the description below. And also, before I sign off, I do want to bring up something. So you know what? Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna show it off. So I want you guys. So I want you guys to stay tuned because within the next couple of weeks, within the next few weeks, I'm actually going to be opening up a rare booster box, and this is it right here. I would show it off. I would show you the front, but yeah, this is a very rare box. What's cool about this box is that it's actually a Zexal set, and I got it from I think I got it from Real Good Deal from their eBay store. So I'm going to be opening that up in the next few weeks, so be sure to stay tuned for that. And yeah, so on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.